Mines and them. This time reporting live on the Bamboozled Again News Network. Well, as I love to say, niggas like to get bamboozled every day, B. See if anybody hop in this joint. I'm going on a little later than normal. I was tired early, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be on my own type of schedule. If I just go ahead and kick the joint off, right? And this video is titled, and I'm speaking to myself as well, highlighted from personal experience. Why do I look for the living among the dead, right? Friday, I had to do outreach. So some of my old homies that, they rolled past, seen me, you know what I mean? Whatever, right? And one of my homeboys from out of town he's in town, right? So I talked about that. I just really didn't feel like, and this is my mind, like this is a brother who's been instrumental, especially in my younger days of kind of talking me out or just his presence, kind of getting me to see things a different way so I wouldn't do stupid stuff. So I always esteem him to this degree, right? But as we go through this timeline along spiritual guidelines and guideposts, I went to the YMCA, did a little exercise, rode my bike or whatever, nice day. It's about 80 here in Maryland, you feel me? And I said, man, I'll stop by, holler at the brother, right? I was around that joint about 5 minutes. When they went in the house, I hopped on my bike and left. And I felt bad, but I didn't feel comfortable. And here's why. I don't resonate with people the same way I used to. And in my mind in particular, I'm seeing the light go out of his eyes. There's nothing for me spiritually to attach to resonate with, to just connect with. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I talk about, it's like I'm looking at a familiar stranger. You know what I mean? It's kind of vexing to a degree because, it's someone I had love for. And I still do, don't get me wrong. But again, it's like, there's nothing outside of nature where I'm at now, right? You know what I mean? Whatever, right? There's nothing outside for me. All the evil spirits are outside. You know what I'm saying? All the depression is outside. All the harlots and whoremongers are outside. So I go outside to go to nature. I go outside to get from point A to point B. I don't see the point. And I don't get nothing out of it. It's not like, and very seldom, like I talk about, I don't hear brothers talk about progression. It's either gossip or talking about the next person and what they doing wrong, even though the vast majority of people have no leg to stand on in their personal situations or even trying to effectively address thereof. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sobering. And it kind of triggers a survivor's remorse. Like, I never wanted to be one of them brothers that get so, whatever, high and mighty, which I'm not, that I'm like, I don't fool with them no more, nothing like that. And I fool with them, I love them, I pray for them all the time. It's just that I'm on a different path and trajectory. And there's a great chasm spiritually between me and the people I used to know who I had, a lot of, good times with, got through hard times with, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of in this space of now. And then seeing what's been going on through the lens of social media, the news, and so on and so forth. Until the Most High change it, I'm going to, protect myself spiritually, keep the oil in my lampstand, you understand me? And be content with what I do have. Here's another thing I'm noticing too, right? Whereas though, all these goals and dreams I got to, ascend and make money and all that. Not saying I've given up on it, but see, to the point where I'm at now wasn't facilitated by my own hand. So I can't really claim credit for it other than attempting to be obedient to the best of my ability at that time. And then I was placed in a situation where the skills that were honed in affliction allowed me to flourish and then do the things I had planned to do anyway. You feel what I'm saying? So all this, trying to strive to get this skill or, get into this particular industry and all that, it seemingly keeps getting blocked. So I'm of the belief now that I have to put surrender. I did that with drugs and alcohol, right? But now put the surrender in the place of my goals, dreams, and aspirations and what I want to see happen and when I want to see it happen. Because I know this for sure. If the Most High don't want me to do something, it will mysteriously get blocked, fall apart, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Which then it creates this where I have to have a greater level of faith because I don't know where I'm going at. Now, granted, I'm sustained and I got a roof over my head, food, financial resource, whatever the case may be, right? But I want the next level so bad. You know what I'm saying? And I will get to the next level in His time. But whatever I'm going through now will prepare me for that next level and whatever I got to deal with, not knowing I got to deal with it. Just like, all the years, I was kind of on the Chitlin circuit of these recovery programs and whatnot, actually prepared me to work in an industry that I want nothing to do with. You see what I'm saying? And flourish in it, even though I don't have any formal education in it. But I lived in the environment and seen it from a plethora of different angles for years on end. So I can give somebody the real game, which is another thing that's vexing. See, sometimes I wish granted, I know I can't force nobody to do nothing. But because of where I feel we're at spiritually, as far as just the state of the world, I don't think you got a whole lot of time to be shucking and jiving along just your own personal disciplines or belief systems. All this plan and all that, man, that dead. Because you're going to get caught in the wash. It took me almost 10 years to get to this point. And I ain't even talking about nothing, external. I'm talking about all internal. He short-stopped my life, probably, depending on where I start counting from, a decade ago, to kind of have me in alignment now where everything's getting out of alignment. You know what I'm saying? It's just so wild. Like, I haven't been really listening to a whole lot of content on YouTube, right? Some stuff is just beyond me now. Like, I phase out of certain stuff. But I'll listen to it or get a general synopsis for the purpose of just, like, what do I think about it? You know what I'm saying? So, again, I keep hearing this rhetoric about, the 50-50 or in relationships or dating or marriage or whatever versus the 100% argument. Excuse me. But I think that's a social construct because I've never heard the Hispanic man hop on a podcast and say whether he pay 100% or 50-50. You see what I'm saying? I just think if you want to make it work, you just make it work. But it's just weird. Like the Hispanic man who over here illegally, his lady loyal to him, and he ain't got no money. You see what I'm saying? Because they're probably actually loyal to the family. You understand me? Here in Babylon, nobody's loyal to anything unless it personally benefits them. And it should personally benefit you, but not necessarily financially or, you know what I mean? And that's why everything here is so jacked up. Like, of course, we see the necessity now for family, if we look at the other racial groups. But we've been conditioned and programmed to not want family, or to want family for the purpose of what we can extract from it. And as soon as we got to sacrifice something, or something don't go our way, or our other partner gets sick, or something to that effect, we don't want nothing to do with it, because we want the title of it and the benefit of it, but not the responsibility and the duty that come with it. That's why everybody's so quick to jump out the window. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at the whole dating game, I'm like, yeah, I mean, and now what's happening with me, right? Things are becoming conceptual, but not reality, right? Because in the concept, like, I like the concept of love, the idea of love, right? But in application, I see the love of many waxing cold. I can see, and here's another thing, right? Can we cancel BBLs? Because it's just getting ridiculous at this point, yo. I see attractive ladies, no matter who they may be, but spiritually, I can tell they're of the world. So it's almost like the words say, how I'm a nomad, an alien, a sojourner, just passing through this place, having experiences, observing things to help me grow along spiritual lines, to the point now where I see it, the only thing that's really real is the thing you can't see, which is the Most High and His word, and say how He say live, outside of, the construct of religion. Because even if we look at the construct of religion, well, what's going on with it? Hey, what's up to me? If we look at the construct, it's totally, and I guess the construct of religion is to help funnel us into the one world religion, because all the religions are so divided, especially geopolitically, that what will end up happening is whoever comes in to, I'm assuming, and I got this from Truth Unedited, to take out Trump will actually seem like a hero, and then everybody will praise him because he just stopped all this beefing. You see what I'm saying? Like I did one video talking about all roads lead to Rome. Well, what's going on, Coach C? What's happening with it? Just a little late night rap session, just rambling on the jump, just kind of letting my consciousness flow. But basically, I was talking about, and to each his own. I'm just sharing me with the world, right? Like I said, Saturday night, about, I don't know what time it is, about 9:30, something like that. And I'm completely content, sitting here at the local welcome center, because I got light here, and just kind of just rambling on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But I have no desire to go to the bowling alley. I really don't have no desire to be social. And I can be social. It's just my spirit don't get nothing out of it based on the people that are in these social groupings. And I've noticed this. If my spirit ain't in something, I can't be a part of it, because I believe now I'm in this new space of being led by the spirit. But being led by the spirit is confusing my conscious mind. Like I was talking about how True. yeah. I guess y'all become my new kind of, it'd be nice to really deal with people, like we used to prior to the advent of social media in person. But I guess you take things, you utilize it the way you can. But I just don't get nothing out of anything societal. And even if we look at, of course, well, I'm of the belief our culture was stolen. So then they sell you a culture that actually helps destroy you. Hustling, rap music, whoredom, whoremongering. It does absolutely nothing for us, and it's helping contribute to the erosion of the soul of the people. But we take pride in it, right? I was just thinking about young Scooter who had passed away, right? Now, when I break it down to the molecule, essentially he's a trap rapper, right? Okay, he promotes selling drugs and, machismo, if you want to call it that, just that and the third, right? But ultimately, the end of his story and the end of his legacy. Now, I've got conflicting reports about if the police actually did something or he hopped the fence and ended up jugging himself on top of the fence and hit a main artery and bled out, right? But you had a 39-year-old brother, right, who end of his story is running from the police. I feel like you fail in life. Now, granted, we have Emmett Till type situation, that we ain't talking about. But you do all this, you make all this money, you're whoever you are in the streets, right? But ultimately, your demise is running from the man. And either they unalived you or you end up injuring yourself hopping the fence. At 39 years old, you probably shouldn't be in no position where you got to run away from nobody. You know what I mean? This is unfortunate. Then we had the situation out there with Sauce Walker and whatever. And someone, one of his artists being unalived, people wondering, did he sacrifice him? It's just, to me, the whole black culture has become distasteful. Politically distasteful. Religiously, with Marvin Sapp. I caught one of them, it was an old skit on Living Color back in the day. I think Damon Wayans and Jim Kerr, and they was taking the offering. He said, only $1. He pulled out the gun and shot in the air, and everybody started giving him money. Distasteful. Like, I yearn for, not perfection, but some semblance of authenticity, class. You know what I'm saying? You know how, like, back in the day during your they might not, like my grandparents, from the stories I heard, they ain't had no whole bunch of money. But they still operate with a certain decorum and class. Within the last 10 years, like, so much has just gone out the window, and I don't even think we realized it. You know what I mean? Like, morals is it's a thing of the past. Name me somebody you personally know who operates morally. Not perfect, but operates, treats people right. You know what I'm saying? Does sound business. Name one, if you can think about it. Maybe it's me. Gone are the, remember back in the day when housing was affordable? Well, what's going on, 7 Souls, man? What's happening with it, baby? Remember when housing was affordable? Remember when women had natural derrieres? Remember when you could tell if it was a woman or not? Yo, it's wild out here. And I don't want no part of it. Because my spirit don't resonate with none of this. But I do find my spirit charged up when I'm in nature. You know what I'm saying? Or when I'm just analyzing the game. I'm exercising. I'm reading. Just simple stuff. I've come to desire and be content with the simpler things in life. All that extracurricular, wacky, wild Kool-Aid style for the birds. That's another one, private business. The government is taking over everything, and if it is private, the governmental oversight agencies still had a kind of puppeteering it to a degree. Like I talk about my old job, which is totally perplexing to me, and this is how far along on the timeline we're going. I work for the county health department, right? Now, we all know my former job that I talked about ad nauseum on here is some dookie. Like, everybody in town know this, but we as a governmental body can't use another governmental body to get them shut down or reprimanded or checked. That's insane. Wickedness is abounding to the point where it's almost unreal. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing nobody won't do. Like, I've heard people say, like, okay, like I heard Diddy ready to get out of jail or potentially could get bail, right? Man, we all know that man. Man, that man terrible, yo. Now people can make up stuff, yeah. But if people have had rumors about you since I've been on earth, you know what I'm saying, or at least since I've been in high school, you ain't done none of it. And then, like I had another video talking about how people sympathize and defend the bamboozler, but actual victims can't get no love. Or let's say I call something out, like say my old job, right? They'll say, oh, why are you doing that? What you mean why I'm doing it? Now, mind you, because I'm wise enough, they ain't personally do nothing to me. I'm taking up the cause because of what I've seen and how they negatively affected other people, fellow co-workers, and the clients that they make money off of. And everybody know this, but then will tell me, nah, don't say nothing. I don't know if the jab got something to do with it. I don't know if they open up these portals or witchcraft, but there is a mass spell being casted on the masses, especially here in Babylon, where good is evil and evil is good. We're actually proud and contributing to our own destruction. And if you point it out, they get mad with you. So, I mean, I've kind of done, you know what I mean? Now, I ain't no pervert or no moral superiority kind of guy here, because I've done all the dirt in the world for the most part, but I still had a conscience about it. You know what I mean? I would, you know, like back in the day, they say the old gangsters were like, they do whatever they do, but they would, you know, still look out for the community. Like, even with these hustlers, right? Do they still hold like, do they still have like neighborhood days where they give back to the neighborhood so they can get the neighborhood on their side? Like, everything is so self-absorbed, and I appreciate you saving soul. Everybody's so self-absorbed. It's almost like I said. It's like almost like navigating amongst a living graveyard, or where I see nothing but painted graves. You understand? And it can affect me because, you know, since my soul has, or my spirit has come alive, I now yearn for things that are alive, like nature, like genuine empathy, genuine love, not even necessarily on a romantic sense, but just genuine compassion that you would have for a fellow human being. Everything now seems to be covert narcissism and covert manipulation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no part of it. It's just sad sight to see. And here it is. This is just the beginning of the iceberg, or the tip of the iceberg, rather. It's going to get exponentially worse. Not to have no gloom and doom type of rhetoric, but that's just the reality of the situation. Let me tell it. So with me knowing this, okay, you plan, you prepare, yeah, all that's cool, fine, and dandy. But you can't prepare for famine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you can, but then, okay, you prepare for famine, and then I live more by the water, so then let's say a hurricane come through here and wipe all the food, then what? Like, the only way is the Most High, and I've come to that resolution that I'll live my life preparing to meet him at any moment. I mean, what else is there? You know, I can take, you know, joy in my child, joy in my home, joy in the peace and love and things of that nature. But everything outside the world, I don't want no part of it. I'm a hard worker and all that, but I've had jobs in various industries that could have been lucrative, and my spirit went in and said, nah, I ain't doing that. So now I'm getting out of, to a greater degree, intellectualism. You can't intellectualize things of the spirit. And I think he's dealing with me in that respect. Because technically, the way I see it, it's a lack of faith. If I keep trying to figure stuff out when he'd already figured it out, I just gotta walk it out. And in walking it out, I get properly prepared for whatever he's called me to do. But I've never seen a point in scripture, right, where, I don't know, one disciple said, oh, I got a great idea to honor God, and then they just went on ahead and did it, and then Gad said, here you go, I hope you accept this. No, we're just supposed to live and do, as he say, live and do, right? And then we honor him that way. You know what I'm saying? So technically I'd be out of order or out of alignment in my own efforts to right the scales. See, I would do that when I used to drink and whatnot. Right, so say, take no thought for tomorrow. I'm learning to trust. Right. Because everything is so uncertain. And then you get all this anxiety and wondering. Nah, man, I ain't doing none of that. And I'm of this belief with all that, if you check out my content, you probably been through more stuff than people even believe, right? But we're at this space in time in human history, and we can still kind of function, or we're fighting to address our problems, or even struggling area, but we still trying to get it together and all that. Whatever we're going through now probably pales in comparison from all the stuff we probably been through that we didn't think we could get through. You know what I'm saying? So outside of my own desire for when I want to see happen, or when I want to hit a financial mark, or whatever the case may be, outside of that, I'm straight. It's not like the isolation is vexing to me. I actually enjoy it. Now, it wasn't like that at first, but I actually enjoy peace. I like being able to do an internal spiritual and mental and emotional audit of myself and see what come up on my data sheet so I can address it. That's how I just figured out, and I knew it, but there's levels to it. Like Sable Soul's Ministry said, take no thought for tomorrow. He been helped. You know how many times I didn't know what I was going to eat or where I was going to lay my head for years on end, yeah. Like, I should be big but crazy, yeah. But the Most High took that, which was for bad that I did to myself, and turned it into good in a time and a space where I swear I see everybody spiritually, behaviorally, mentally regressing. It's so bad here in Babylon, right? Anytime you have mental health professionals taking psychotropic medication to deal with their mental health. That's crazy, man. With a space where the health care, with one, is no care in the health, and the health care actually help make you sicker. But if you take a step back and research on your own and figure out how to eat, or what supplements to take, or what particular vitamins do, you know, XYZ, whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop, they label you crazy. And I had to understand this too, right? Because I've always kind of been rejected to some degree, especially when they figure out they can't control me. But I had to understand this, and the word talk about this. If the world hate you, remember, it hated Yeshua and all the prophets before you. The world love its own, which is actually a good sign. But even in the wilderness of the people, I still had a lane carved out for me to sustain. And it's something that I'm passionate about. The very same things that I've struggled with for years on end, not knowing how I'm going to get out of it. Not understanding through, you know, a righteous man falls 7 times, but he get back up, right? I was actually being mentally fortified. You know what I'm saying? I was actually gaining the ability to be by myself and deal with whatever, failure, disappointment, loss, shame, grief, suffering, so on and so forth. Right, which is, like, to me, you say, they advise you against taking natural supplement. I just seen something, and I've been known this, where prior to the advent of modern medicine, right, everybody on earth prior to, let's say, I think they started working on it around about the 20s or 30s, right, with the Rockefeller mine. But that's what they use. It's in the word. The healing is in the herbs and the plants of the ground. But they got you thinking, or not thinking, but they're trying, which is another spell they've casted, that somehow synthetic drugs are going to help my natural body, that then cause more issues, and I got to take more synthetic drugs. And that's what modern, or at least Western medicine is. Dealing with the symptom, but never getting to the root cause. It's no different in the black community, which is dead. We can always hop on these podcasts or online and talk about the problems. And we could talk about potential solutions. But we never talk about the root cause of the situation to solve the symptoms, right? Just like I would say, 85 to 90% of the stuff that go on in the black community emanates from what they destroyed back in the 60s, the nuclear family. And on the flip, then they promote, you know, alternative stuff or women's empowerment, which really only empowers you to be a harlot. And then when you get about 40, 50, you know what I'm saying? Then you feel bamboozled, now you're bitter. But nobody ever say, oh, I was wrong, and then teach other people. That's like me being a former alcoholic, and then some homies who got an issue come to me for help, and I don't give them the real game. You know what I'm saying? So we're just keep perpetuating the generational curse. You know what I'm saying? I see it a lot in the black communities where the one that tries to, you know, move forward or not operate a certain way, they shun them. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. We've come complicit in our own destruction. Let you get off drugs. And not just get off drugs. Okay, that's cool. Yay, great. And then try to like get a career or start trying to move forward in life. You'd be surprised who pop out the woodwork trying to stop you. It's insane. It literally feels like the Matrix every day. Or like, I know the rhetoric about like it being assimilation, but it does kind of feel like that because I see all the programming now. You know what I mean? Saber Soul Ministry says, God saved me from taking all that nonsense. I knew my sadness derived from living in a fallen world, not a malfunction in my brain arteries or whatever. Hey, speaking of that, right? I was saying something where, and I've been through this as well, but somehow I had some type of spiritual inkling because they tried to put me on Prozac. One time they diagnosed me with borderline personality. Tamika says her too. But I just call a clip, and it makes sense that they said that like the CIA would come out with this curriculum or whatever, but it was called something generic, right? But it was to identify gifted children so that they could put like a label on you and then put you on medication to suppress that gift that you had. Like one of my gifts, like I'm a natural visionary. I'm a dreamer, right? And like I can solve other people's problems, right? Without having all the information. But then like I can get, like if my peoples press me about it or somebody try me, cause school wasn't that, I ain't see what the point of it was. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather learn from my grandfather or something, you know what I mean? But what happened? Like, okay, like my peoples get on me. I can get straight A's, but it wasn't mentally stimulating. So I go sleep in school, right? Oh, he's got a psychological da-da-da-da, woo-da-woo-da-woo. So they can kind of like try to suppress that natural gift. I think that was one of the things in the X-Men, or like when they had the little baby X-Men or something, where they got to teach them how to like harness their superpowers, but the government want to suppress it or use it for their purposes. You know what I'm saying? I think many people who are quote unquote chosen have been labeled as having some type of mental disorder, behavioral disorder. And I use this analogy, right? Now, mind you, I'm going through a battle now with custody and I told, you know, my daughter's mother, they was going to run this play even before my child was born. But then they create this situation where they have a financial incentive, and by putting them on, what's that, SSDI, to where as though they get financially incentivized to allow them to label your child ADHD, whatever, right? So that they can't function when they get older, right? Which is almost, in my humble opinion, a modernized version of sacrificing your kids to Moloch in the medical industry, right? So I'm fighting against that, right? It's crazy. And it's like I'm the only one fighting. Like, I will make these great arguments because my child, since she's been with me, doesn't exhibit none of these traits. So she on this medication, and we got, you know, police getting called, and she fighting and this, that, and the third, right? On the medication, and while she going to see a therapist. We removed her out of the situation into a more harmonious environment, and we ain't seen none of the behavior. So she must not need the medication no more. Then these white folk tell me, not to be racist enough, but how you gonna tell me? Then, well, a doctor needs to assess that and da-da-da, not the father. You know how disrespected I felt, folk? I like to put, you know what I'm saying? Like, even, and that's another distortion here in this defiled land. Like, fatherhood doesn't mean anything, right? But then we can draw back into all the things that are taking place in the society, and the contributing factor is the lack of fatherhood. You fight to be a father, or not, you shouldn't have to fight to do what's hard, you know what I mean? But okay, I want to be a father, right? Which I am, right? But then you got to jump through all these hoops to be in your child's life. And then when you do that, they'll try to hinder you from doing that effectively, right? But then if you just, draw back for your own mental health and it go wrong, then they'll always blame you. So you darned if you do, darned if you don't. It's almost dangerous to produce kids in this place. Because once they get to the public school system, the school system gonna tell them all this XYZ stuff, and you know what I mean? It's crazy, yo. It's mad despicable, B. You know what I'm saying? And that's why another reason why I don't feel the need to fool with it. Because sometimes when I go out in society, you'll hear people like champion. Now anybody can have their own opinion. You feel me? But people will like defend this crap. They'll defend abortion. The only reason why my child is on earth is because I ain't believe in it, and I had to pray every day for my daughter's mother not to abort my child. And I already knew I was set up for a hard road dealing with her, but I did that. You feel me? But I don't believe in abortion. But it's so crazy. Like I'll fight for the ability to unalive my own children. That's modernized Moloch sacrifice, if you ask me. But how about you just stop, contributing to the behaviors that led to you having to make that situation or that decision in the first place? Then you ain't got to worry about it. Not to mention the whole medical procedure is gruesome from what I understand. You feel me? This is crazy. And they defend it. So now I'm in this space where I don't even be feeling the need to talk to nobody, because they reprobated this point. Yeah, it's me. They at where they at with it. They're empty vessels at this point. So if an empty vessel, any kind of demon or whatever the case may be, can inhabit it. Like I was riding my bike around town today, just going to and fro, and it just felt like I wasn't scared enough. It's like I didn't see any real. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It almost feels like you live in a prison planet. You know what I mean? And that's another one. But the Bible, it's becoming ever more alive to me when they say having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. You know what I'm saying? Everybody putting on this religious cloak or what. And now we're in this space where even among, let's say, those who subscribe to the identity of Hebrew Israelite and all that, now a whole bunch of bamboozlers have exposed into that realm. Like, I really truly wonder how much of us are actually really true followers of Yah, or we're like industry plants at this point, or how the brother be in jail where, like the brother Polite, man, he read all these books about astrology and Egyptology, which Egyptology don't even exist in Egypt. Then I just come out, say a whole bunch of $50 words, get an online following, and then use that to Trojan horse for my own desire, which typically, and here's another thing I've noticed. Now, I understand we're all humans, so we all got a sexual component, right? You feel me? But it seems like there's a correlation between the religious bamboozler and sexual immorality. You know what I'm saying? It seems like we're in this space now where all the Christian pastors, they all seem a little like, oh, I don't know. I've not, like, in recent memory, that's another thing that went by the wayside, rather. The masculine Christian pastor. And then the Hebrew Israelite brother, they're control freaks. See, I just let the Most High lead me however he lead me to, whoever he lead me to, and however that works. Because you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? You just can't tell. And I don't have time to figure it out. Nor can you actually figure it out. That's why I've really been just being led by the Spirit, really been on my spirit. And what my spirit telling me is, you all right, chill. Do what I've allowed you to do. Learn what I'm, on a daily basis, however I trigger it or give you these inklings. And you be all right. Because it ain't like I done saved myself at no point in time since I've been on earth. And I ain't got to that point. People are mad that I'm at, not just off drugs and alcohol, but the wisdom I've had from isolation and how I'm able to navigate certain situations. Now that we can't use you or manipulate you or bamboozle you, now you're no good to us. Now we hate you, even though you're the one, and I knew that, and I felt like this when I was younger, who's kind of anointed to push the family forward. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Now I'm a whole lot stronger in it, but I know earlier on it can be real mentally pressing, you know what I'm saying? especially when you discover like, darn, my family ain't what I thought it was, or my friends ain't who I thought they were, or they were actually, covertly working against me, or what they call it, like the dark night of the soul, where you start to discover, or your version of reality is obliterated, and you feel like everything you've done is a waste. Yeah, they hate and they still, well, I guess that goes into the whole monitoring spirit kind of thing. And I already know it, but you gotta figure, they've always monitored the chosen. What's that word? What's that verse where it say, the wicked lie in wait for the righteous? I think that's in Proverbs, if I'm not mistaken. So they watch, but as long as you stay on the path, they can't do nothing with you. The weapon form, it just don't prosper. You know what I'm saying? See, my thing again, I feel like in my mind, like, why I gotta deal with this? Like, they're trying to stop me from da-da-da-da. But really, it ain't nothing but a test. You see what I'm saying? Because, right, at the end of a curriculum, right, you take a test, and if you pass the test, you go to the next level. So I've been tested in coming out of my own will, ideas, that type of thing, right? I've been coming out. Now, I have the ability now to, quote unquote, take vengeance in my own hands, right? So I'm going to give you the ability to do that. But I don't want you to do it. So can you hold back? Can you leg? Even when it seemed like they winning, or even like it seemed like everybody on their side, can you still do that? Because if you're not going to be obedient and get out of your own justification, I can't take you to the next level, because you'll start running your own program. You see what I'm saying? And I know all this, but it don't make it no easier. It's still a struggle. I go to the water and max out, or I go real earnestly in prayer, because I keep it real with the Most High. I want to get these people over with, God. I'm tired of playing with them. Like almost those David type prayers where he's voicing his frustrations and whatnot. I'm tired of it. I can finally put, not anything like unalive and nothing like that, right? But I can actually give back to them what they've given to me. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll be lowering, I'll be stooping down to their level, which is what they want you to do anyway. And so they can say, see, I told you he wasn't that. Look how he did me. You know what I'm saying? So some stuff you got to gracefully endure. And I've done it. I don't like it, but it ain't about me liking it. It's about me doing it. You know what I'm saying? How my counselor used to say, you don't have to understand it for it to work. You just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that used to hold me back as far as getting off drugs and all that type of stuff. Because if I don't understand it, I ain't finna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I never understood, but I relapsed so many times, I just gave up. And now that I done gave up, as far as that go, someone who has been notoriously addicted and codependent and this, that, and the third, I seem like a wise man now because of obedience. And if I was ever in a situation I didn't know what to do, I ain't go to no people, because I ain't trusting them. That's why I set it up like that. It forced me to go to him. Because if he don't come through, or he don't do X, Y, Z, I'm done for. You see what I'm saying? And I know they salivating on my downfall, even though I've done stuff, don't get it wrong, or don't get me twisted, but I never maliciously sought, to hurt, manipulate, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't get none of that. And just like with the young scooter, when it's finally over with, I don't want that on my jacket. If anything, I want, he overcame. He, had some type of positive influence on his community, society, or whomever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not living like that. And if me doing that is going to get me X, Y, Z, I don't want it if I gotta get it like that. We think of selling our souls like in the industry kind of way with a sacrifice and all that, or some oath and whatnot. Selling your soul is just doing things that you wouldn't want somebody to do to you for your own, purposes. You know what I'm saying? That's how I take it. And it was such a fight to get my soul back. I don't think I ever lost it. It was beat down real good by my own decision making and what I was dealing with. But now I see the value of my soul. That's why I'm in nature now, because it charges up my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I go out in society, going to the NBA basketball game don't do nothing for my soul. It don't. Watching TV for the most part don't do nothing for my soul. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep oil in my lampstand. Now I can give out oil, no diggity, no doubt, but I don't want to give out so much oil. When I need the oil, ain't nobody gonna pour into mine. Nor would I want to do that. That's stewardship to me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure I got enough for me and mine. You feel me? Now, if you need something here, there, yeah, I got you. But we all got to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. Because I can only imagine my mom with all these purge movies, zombie movies, this, that, and the third. I can only imagine how wicked it'll look in real life. It darn near look wicked to me now. I not look wicked, it feel wicked. So how I feel changed the spiritual eyeballs I'm viewing stuff through. Like, it's so crazy here how they've turned, especially here in Babylon, everything the Most High set to order, they've inverted it. You know what I'm saying? Now, marriage is the building block of a family, building block of a community, country, right? Marriage has become such a joke, nobody want to fool with it. And if they, like I said, if they do fool with it, it's so they can get over on the other person. Like, that don't make no sense to me. I'm going to attach myself to this person to run some game to get all I can get up out of them and roll out, whether it be male or female. Or I'm one of these Pookie type brothers. Oh, let me get on this one, right? And this is insane in the membrane, right? Now, what was the first? Like a while back, I heard this story, and let's cancel BBLs, right? It was I believe she was like a 50-year-old correctional officer in New York. I want to say Rikers Island, right? And she was married, right? Well respected in her field, you feel me? And she decided at 50 years old, she went down, I believe, to the Dominican Republic to get a BBL and died on the surgery table, yeah? Trying to enhance the Cheekingtons, right? And I'm like, now I'm figuring, nowadays you just don't know with men, right? But I'm like, nah, baby, you don't need that. Do some squats. You know what I'm saying? I've had these cheeks for years. They good just the way they is, baby. So why would she at 50 years old go clear out the country to one of these Emmy Jimmy hack shops to get the BBL jump and die on the table and leave her kids and everybody behind? She got the BBL because at 50 years old, she wants some attention. This is sad. But then I just seen the joint, it was a couple of days ago, of this woman who got unalived on a conjugal visit and married the 4-time murderer man. I forgot what state it was, but she go to see him on a conjugal visit and he ended up unaliving her. You know what's crazy, yo? Here in Babylon, we'll devote our stuff to the stuff that destroys. Like, technically, I was devoted to, you know, streets, drugs, alcohol, and darn, that destroyed me. So I don't want to take myself out the equation here. But you ever know, say if you know, just a man, right? You may never experience devotion from your counterpart. But I experienced devotion from my counterpart or numerous counterparts when I was the worst version of myself. It's like Satan rewards you with the carnality of life when you're operating like that. As I became a better version of a man, at one point I seemed like I was invisible, because maybe I didn't know what I know now or could operate in that. But then I know that after a period of time, you're just a man, right? I ain't talking about the super hyper masculine. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm just talking about a regular man with the internal components, right, and attributes, right? Modern women will despise you, yo. That's crazy. Like that one, what was that, a couple weeks ago, where the sister was saying that God-fearing men and straight men are red flags. Yo, the Jezebel spirit of whatever they call that it's mind-boggling, Jack. Whoa, what's going on, Steve? What's happening with it? I see you up in the building. But everything that the Most High set to order, even if we look at the, you know, they genetically altering the food. Like, we should think, yo, it's crazy to eat fruit that don't have no seeds in it. That's like neutering the fruit. That's ill. Anything the Most High set to order, they've actually flip-flopped it and made it seem evil. To the point where I don't want to get married, you know what I'm saying? You don't want a life partner, you want a companion, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. They made us not want natural stuff. Now we want unnatural stuff. Now we want to have threesomes and the same sex. And now instead of just working on my mental health by going in nature, now I want to go to the doctor and get some pills. And it's real in the battlefield, baby. Every day. They got an agenda against the cheerings, you know what I'm saying? And the other, you know, society for the most part. Children off limit. You protect children. Now they're creating this legislation and social directives to where it make it hard for you to protect your own children. Wowzers. the fruit is unfruitful. The fruit, the fruit gonna be unfruitful if the land is barren. You know what I mean? The land of the people is barren to me. You know what I'm saying? It feel barren. Now it look like, okay, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's like a little welcome center. Like it's more of a rural type of area, right? But I feel the famine of the land spiritually. Like when I went by my homeboy and seen and hollered at him, I didn't feel no soul. It's like his soul was gone. He just still walking upright. And I'm like, that killed me. You know what I'm saying? Because this is someone, like I said, who's been instrumental on my journey. So, of course, you know, I'm in a better position. No diggity, no doubt. I'm down by law. But here's the tripping part, right? Let's say I was a rapping dude, right, and I got $1 million. He in his situation, okay, I'm gonna get you out this situation. It would actually be to my detriment if he still got the same mentality. That's where that talking point, everybody can't go. Because if everybody go, they gonna jack your stuff up. Or if he's still attached to this woman who's still using drugs, he's gonna be all focused. You see what I'm saying? So he's not gonna be a positive benefit to whatever it is you're doing. He's gonna end up being a liability, even if he don't want to be. It's real out here. It's real out here, and it sucks. It hurts, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I got love for the folk, and I want to make sure my love don't grow cold. You know what I'm saying? Or I think I'm better, which I don't, or whatever the case may be. But it's a sobering reality to see people and know you can't reach them, and then keep going forward on your journey. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I want them, bro. I want to take everybody with me, or, you know, we all eat together. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's not the way to set up. You might be the only one make it. You might be the only one who's able to mentally hold up during a financial collapse or geopolitical war, or however that works. But I don't even be tripping off all that because it's all prophesied. So I guess they're ready to kick off the war with Iran through Israel, and I was saying they're trying to rebuild the third temple, but it's something about the ground real shaky, or something about they got to do something with the ground first. I think they already got the red heifer. So I guess things are moving along the prophetic timeline as they should move on. So, you know, me personally, I'm just sitting back my popcorn, but I ain't gonna be out here protesting. Ain't no food in the store. I ain't throwing no rock through the window. I ain't doing none of that. I'm gonna sit this one out. And I believe this is for the world. This ain't for us. You know what I'm saying? He will divinely, as he did in Egypt, divinely feed us. However he do that, he'll divinely protect us, just so long as we're obedient. And I think, to sum it all up, and I gotta work on this as well. And I am, you know what I'm saying? As long as I stay on the path, I end up working on stuff I don't even know I need to work on for whatever it is coming down the pike in the future, you feel me? So, like, I'm obedient, but it's a greater level of obedience in the sense of my frustrations when not even certain things don't go my way. But like I said, I got a passport. I could leave the country anytime. So I was telling Mika, I guess I can cross Thailand off the list because they just had a 7.7 earthquake. You see what I'm saying? And it's not so much I want to leave. I just want to experience natural, or like I had an opportunity to work in the school system, but then my spirit wasn't feeling that. But the only reason I was going to work in a school system, I wanted to be in an environment that's nurturing, not necessarily towards me. I just want to see it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to bask in, you know, that attribute of femininity, seeing women tend to children. Because where I'm at, outside, you know what I mean, outside of my house, I don't see it like that. You know what I mean? But my spirit wasn't in that, and it kind of led me along the path or whatever. So I'm getting out of it. And sometimes it takes me a second for things to dawn on me. Because I want to make sure I'm doing my part in productivity and be responsible. But then I was thinking right before I hopped on this live, right? When I went to the prayer service years ago, he wasn't a pastor. I would say he was a prophet though. And he turned to me and said, "Not by power, not by might, but by my spirit, says the Most High." And then my situation didn't get better. I just got better at it when I accepted that my situation was what it was because of the stuff I did. And then it became easier to manage in the situation. Then I had to revelate, I ain't getting out of this until he get ready to get me out. And my efforts to get out on my own didn't work, even though they had worked previously. But this was a whole different season. It's literally seemed like he got off his throne and said, I got to deal with him personally before he destroyed himself. And he gave me that good chastisement and discipline. You understand me? But now I'm thankful for it. Just like you might got some kid like, why are you so tough on me? Or da da da. You ain't gonna understand now. They told me that when I was younger. But now I get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm at with it now. Now it's one thing, the way I operate, it's one thing for me to understand something intellectually. It's another thing for me to put in application and practice. But I guess I'll end the live on this one. It's not by power, it's not by might, but by the Most High Spirit. And on that note, my holla at y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Just listen to me ramble for real, for real. And I'll say it again one more time for the people in the back. Not by power, not by might, but by His Spirit. And on that note, man, I'm signing off. Ooh, ah!